We're live.
Hi everyone. Top of the morning to you.
Okay, so YouTube still says it's waiting. Okay, it's
live.
Oh.
No. Top of the Excuse me.
Do you need me to thump you on the back?
Someone needs to do something.
Okay, so happy St. Paddy's Eve. To everyone watching, we have a couple people watching. Yay, Tanya Alaman and Miss Tree. Oh, there's Kelly explaining
Hi,
esoteric.
Hi, Miss Tree. Hi, Tanya.
Wow, yay, friends are here. So just briefly before we bring our special guest on, how are you? Well, I know that you're all set up. You guys are stocked up for the next 10 years probably. But around where I live in, in a big city here, and you cannot find eggs or toilet paper or, of course, hand sanitizer, because some buffoons, bought it all up. But it's really hard. And I use Instacart, for grocery delivery, because I find it, very luxurious to have my food delivered. And usually you can get a delivery like within a couple of hours. You pay a little more. But I put in an order yesterday. I can't get a delivery from the store until Wednesday.
Yeah, it's the same here. Exactly the same here.
Yeah, it's global, way to control an entire planet with, something not even as bad as a head cold. It makes no sense. Okay, so we're going to bring on our special guest, and our special guest, I want to call him Seamus because he's our leprechaun today. And,
By the way, I'm not a leprechaun, I'm just short.
Yeah. Boy, and you can only wear that once a year. What a shame. That's a cute shirt.
I know, and I've only just got it, but I'm keeping it.
Heck yeah. And I love your glasses and your hat. And so, okay, so we're bringing on our special guest, and when you see who it is, you're all going to recognize him. And, what's more Irish than a tarot reading? For St. Patrick's Day, I've heard, but I find that very, very Irish. So we're going to bring on our special guest. Welcome, Seamus. You're Seamus today.
And listen,
Hello.
just the bill collector's looking for CW, and I'm fine.
You're fine with that. Okay, so hey, if anybody questions me, I don't know. All I know is his name is Seamus.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I know.
Yeah. So
that away.
Yeah, I know, and then point in the other direction. Yes. So, Maggie and I were just talking, while you were backstage about, of course, it's, global food shortages, food insecurity. And I know you guys have plenty of rice. So, yay, Kelly.
Racist as all fucking get out.
What? I have a rice cooker, man. I can make tempura.
That's like the ultimate defense to a charge of racism. Some of my best friends are rice cookers.
Yeah, so hey, I say that every day. It saves my bacon.
That's it.
So with all the okay, I'm willing to change this up a little bit, or I don't know. It's up to you, CW or Seamus. Would you like to do a tarot reading for St. Patrick's Day, just in general for us all? Like
listen. I'll do my best to be of service, and if my battery goes low, I'll just let you know. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, what do we want to do? Do we want me to do things, for all of us, for our entire community as we generally move into St. Patrick's Day and the St. Patrick's Day celebrations? What with the somewhat of a cloud or pall that's been placed over us by the coronavirus, making it discourage the usual public fare that we assume with St. Patrick's Day around the world, whether it be in the old country or whether it be on the streets of Boston, New York City. We could do that, and then we'll take it from there. And listen, honestly, I will. I'll tell for you. Robin is one of my dearest old friends, in every sense of the word, from YouTube. So I'll be here of service to you guys. If you guys want readings, I'll do it until I croak.
Until you croak. Okay, we'll do it on camera so we can capture that. As you're falling over, take the camera
That's it.
down with you.
And all of a sudden it goes viral. You see me Chanter croak on your live stream. That's like worth like 50, 60 hits. You know what I mean?
Boy,
That's cash money to YouTube.
I know the numbers are dizzying. Wow, just think of the potential. Okay, so that might be coming later in the show. CW falling over and taking his camera with him. So yeah, we do have. There is a cloud and a pall over the land. So maybe a St. Paddy's Day reading for how this is all going to be working for us and the results. So take
Okay.
yeah, and CW and I have been friends for a long time, and neither he nor I know why.
Seriously.
But I adore him, and
Yeah, she does.
and
Who's the master? Sometimes it's hard to tell. You just have to take turns.
take turns. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so CW, I'm just going to hand it over to you and take it away to give us maybe an outcome for all of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's see where it goes. So what I did was I pulled 4 cards. And so what we'll do is we'll step through them individually, and we'll just kind of see how the thing plays out in real time for us. We'll flip over card number 1. Just figure out where we start. And this is beautiful. This is the 6 of Cups. This is this is difficult to do. The 6 of Cups is a wonderful place to start. You know what I mean? This is the most innocent version of love that we can have. This is love in its purest sense. Don't call it puppy love, because puppy love is a judgment that comes from an external world, from those that have been jaded and see bitterness. These two guys, us at 6 of Cups, it comes from a place of goodness and sharing and joy and pure celebration. So we need to know and understand. I'm gonna make a call here. We need to know and understand that the pall over the land comes over the current state of the natural state of affairs, and the natural state of affairs for St. Paddy's Day is love and celebration. An old saying in around here: everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful sentiment and statement. It's known for its bacchanalia, obviously, like all good Catholic holidays, like saints, like Saint Patrick or Saint Valentine. You got to get the demonstrable sin a factor in there. I no longer tip the cup, but to all those who are so inclined, it's interesting that we also start with 6 of Cups to understand that this is a time when everyone's invited to the table, everyone's invited to partake, and everyone's invited to share in the proverbial shamrock shake. So let's see where we go from. So remember this: is that no matter what happens, there's transitory and temporal things that may come over the land. But St. Patrick's Day has been before. St. Patrick's Day will be again. And hey, listen, if you're a future member of Alcoholics Anonymous, every day is St. Patrick's Day, so who cares, right?
I 100% agree with that one.
Listen. Moving on to card number 2, here's something really interesting. The Queen of Wands here. And, tarot cards work on all sorts of different levels. We've got the suits, we've got the numbers, we've got the trump cards, we've got each individual set of tarot cards, each individual artist, the depiction or vision, brings its own set of images and ideas and influence to play to help us understand. And what immediately strikes out to me is that here we have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a woman. The thing we need to know about the Queen of Wands is here we have fire and water interacting. We have the primal masculine and the feminine coming through. And in this regard, oftentimes when we look at the core cards, we're looking at people rather than not concepts or ideas. This might be an actual game changer on on the field. Someone that we can look for, understand on St. Patrick's Day, whether it's someone in our lives or someone on the public stage is going to help us out here. What really strikes me though is when we look at this beautiful Six of Cups, we have this lovely little girl with the red hair, right? And then we get the Queen of Wands. We got this gal with her fiery red hair. It's almost like we're looking at a growing version of this character, coming onto the stage and coming into play. So we need to know and understand is what I'm seeing is this: is that if we're coming out of the Six of Cups, and now we have the Queen of Wands, who's that emotional energy of the Suit of Cups coming through, but as a creative force, tempered with and working with the masculine energy as well, a creator, and a game changer and a ruler, a person who's going to make decisions based on what she thinks needs to happen and should happen for the benefit of all. We see a natural maturation. So even though we started off in a young space and we're looking forward to the St. Patrick's Day that was going to be pure party festivity, here's a person that's saying no matter what we may like or want to do, if the rules of the road are and if it's raining outside, no matter how much you're not feeling it because you're inebriated, you're gonna have to wear your galoshes. You're gonna have to wear your rubbers and your umbrella because I'm not gonna have you coming home with a cold. Okay. So I think this is a call for us to say and understand that there might be things going on, decisions that are being made that affect us and affect our world that we may not necessarily appreciate and want to deal with, but we need to trust that sometimes it's a grand conspiracy and sometimes the people in charge are making decisions for the best interest of everybody.
Yeah.
And also, it also lets me know that there's a celebration in the house. You know what I mean? You don't need to go and have St. Patrick's Day on the street with 1,000 if you've got five fellow travelers, just 4.5 cats. You got a party right there.
Yeah. And a set of spoons.
Right? But don't let mittens have too much green beer. It'll be a disaster.
Oh, that's disgusting. Green.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I do. I bring to the table. Moving on further on, we have the 6 of coins. The 6 of coins is very interesting because the 6 of coins it's a balanced card. A coin, pentacles, discs, call them what you will. These are material concerns. This is why this is often considered the suit of money. And in the 6 of coins, we have a very precise balancing act. And really, what this is the temperance of over generosity, uh, being tempered to make sure that everybody's individual needs get met. And what's interesting to see that come out in our reading today, considering all of the economic factors that are attached. Remember, this is that they just canceled spring break in America. Places like Daytona Beach are closed because of the coronavirus outbreak. We need to know and understand there's regions and there's economies who do 90%. This is a made up number, just to illustrate a point. 90% of their business for the community in a space of 1 weeks. So if we're talking about streets, bars in Manhattan or in Brooklyn, to be closed on St. Patrick's Day or to have a downplay on St. Patrick's Day, especially places like a lot of family-friendly restaurants or just pubs and businesses on St. Patrick's Day is going to be a real burdensome thing. So I think there's some wisdom here that says, look, at the end of the day, there's going to be problems. There's going to be real fuck ups in the energy of our money. But what we're going to need in that stead, we're going to to balance. We're all going to need to budget. People are going to need to change, some of their anticipation, expectations about the future. Like you might have to forego that vacation in order to make sure you've got enough in your savings to take care of the rainy days that can come. And it's also saying to us, remember, there's good times and there's bad times, and if there's loss, there will be gain at some other future point in the future. We just need to make sure that we get it through. But it's also a reminder to say to us the reason that we try to train ourselves to be responsible in our recreational activities, in the spending of money, is that because living for the moment can be fantastic and can be a fantastic thrill. But if we don't plan ahead and we don't have a balanced approach to life, those fantastic Saturdays are going to be met with a Sunday hangover that's just going to take you and ruin your whole day, right? And
Yeah.
that's on the small level of things. To say the big things that could really happen if we're really financially irresponsible, or if we're really irresponsible with our recreational activities, and end up in the drunk tank, or end up in divorce court, or we end up in bankruptcy.
Yeah, and the thing of what you mentioned is, your expectations. Sometimes people live on their expectations, and that has been taken away. What a demoralizer. We can't have any expectation of anything good happening right now. I know a lot of people are stuck there. Now what? It's dismal, and it's so hooray for little pockets of humor and some clarity and some it's talk about taking away freedom, and your freedom of expectation. We all had that, and
Right.
yeah, it's time to pull everything in. Protect your forces, and dang, don't only use 3 sheets of toilet paper, because Lordy, we're all going to run out pretty soon.
I still can't get my head around the logic of toilet paper.
I know.
There is no logic about the toilet paper thing. The only logic there is get the lesson. The all that ended up happening, I think, in balance. And I'm not going to make any. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an immunologist. I'm not an epidemiologist or virologist. So I'm not going to make any sort of guess or discussion of the sciences of the pandemic. But as far as the toilet paper is concerned, what happened? The minute the news started breaking out of Australia that there was a run on toilet paper, there's something primal in the human heart. We are pack animals. We are, for better or for worse, highly evolved apes. And we follow trends. And the minute starts to say, we see it in politics, we see it in music and in culture, we see it in all sorts of avenues. The minute one thought or idea gets put into people's heads, one person starts buying up all the toilet paper, and then everybody starts buying up the toilet paper, and the signal gets out there into the system that there's a run on toilet paper, and then all of a sudden the toilet paper is the first thing to go. And part and parcel is then we're all on social media going, why are people thinking that they're going to shit more than they eat, whatever the case may be? And we start thinking about it or talking about it. But it's just there is nothing about toilet paper other than that's that's the thing where the wildfire caught. That's the product that became symbolic for the rush during the panic buying.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, everyone was buying up that stuff.
yeah,
Who knows why?
and it started with toilet paper, and then I was thinking at the time, okay, I have enough toilet paper for me. There's just me. I have a few rolls, and I'm frugal. Well, not really frugal, because you got to use enough of the stuff. But and I was thinking, well, at least we have food in the markets. Well, hello, we don't, and I don't get what were these people previously doing with produce. I mean, you cannot find uh, a stalk of celery or anything in the produce department, what do they think they're going to do? Are they going to start learning how to can vegetables? You got to use that stuff pretty quick. So people are wiping out the vegetables. Dang, they're going to be cooking fools. Uh,
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
Well, there might be an alternative explanation, and I don't know this for sure, but really what it comes down to is that we have a very fragile and unstable system in the first world. This is as true as it is in England, as it is in Europe, as it is in America. Most supermarkets and food distribution sites work on what's known as day of stocking.
Yeah.
They're prepared to have as much material and invoice on the shelves as they think they're going to move, that day, 2 days, or that week. And especially with the produce, I don't necessarily think that it's people buying more produce than usual. It's the fact that the shipments aren't coming through,
That's it.
so that there's not a restocking. So you have the same amount of people that are maybe coming through over the course of 3 or 4 days buying the same usual amount of produce, but because they're not restocking during that 3 or 4 days, you see diminishing supplies rather than supplies that stay generally kind of pretty stable. But that has to do that's a systemic problem in America. I mean, if you think about the amount of this goes back to the craze of the microbiotic diets in the 60s and 70s. Buying or eating locally sourced or harvested foods. The amount of energy that goes into the simple calories that we buy at the supermarket are crazy because we were making potatoes in Idaho and then we ship them out to Jersey and California. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
amount of gasoline that we burn and energy we consume getting the food to market, opposed to having an organic system where in every state across the nation, people are growing and harvesting the food that sustains them locally, is really what creates these imbalances that can be taken out so easily by these disruptions in the system, like the current health crisis we're dealing with today.
Yeah, if it is indeed a real crisis, I'm still
It's a
suspicious
real crisis.
about that.
There's
Well,
something going on, Robin, because Darren's asked a couple of the shops, supermarkets, and they're not getting no shipments. They're not getting any goods
right.
in.
Huh.
And at the end of the day, whether it's a grand conspiracy or it's organic, Robin, if there's no food on the shelves and people are freaking out and the energy gets cut off, it really doesn't matter why it happened.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
going
real.
what you got to deal with, right?
Yeah, it's
If
our
we go on,
reality.
just finishing out the reading because I had 4 cards. The last card is the Emperor, and here's something that's really interesting. So we have another system. We have another system of control. We have another
Mm.
wise ruler that we need, a balanced force that we need to come into perspective and really take the reins. So what I think is so interesting is that if we look at these 4 cards, we have this reoccurring symbolism of sixes being followed by figures of control or people in power, wise rulers. I don't think there's any reason to pontificate otherwise. The first 2 cards we had was the Six of Cups, followed by the Queen of Wands. So there we are, that realm of emotions and feelings, letting us know that we have the beauty at heart, the natural good times that we all expect and want to have, being tempered with an overhead vision of a creative force that's going to be helping us, giving us, still having that emotional energy come through, still having those good times, but also taking control a little and keeping everybody safe. Then we have the Six of Discs, calling for monetary, balance and constraints, but also good times. The notion is this: is that look, don't hoard it, keep things in balance. Don't The miser shouldn't make love to his wealth. The miser should be happy and grateful for what they have, but make sure that the flow continues. That's something that I've been talking about on my channel a lot. The notion of the value of consumer spending. To world economies, and therefore how problematic and troublesome it is to see so much wealth concentrated in so very few, because that's not how economic systems work. And he's followed up on the heels of love by the Emperor card. Again, a symbol of authority coming in, saying that this balance that we need, this good stuff that we need to preserve, whether in the realm of the heart or with the realm of economic realities, calls for um, wisdom from above. And this is like this can go back to what comes to mind is the notion of the Yuga ages or the epochs of Hindu philosophy and cosmology. That in the golden age everything is perfect and everything's perfect because there's a balance of power and there's wisdom above and there's wisdom below. People act with kindness and decency to each other, and those in authority. Their authority must not be questioned because they are not tyrants. They are not despots. They know that they serve uh, they share in the system. They're part of the system, and they keep the system moving, without egoic attachment. And when things break down, you do have petty rulers and despots, and you do have monarchs and plutocrats and multi-billionaires hoarding much to themselves. And that's the no mas bueno, and the only thing that ends up happening is revolution, right?
Yeah, and boy, and then there's money to be made somewhere. Somebody's making a lot of money off of this. Probably a handful of guys that's capitalizing.
Right. Well, and if money, if the money, they're gonna wake up to on a tomorrow that's not gonna like, because if the money doesn't flow and the money doesn't go, there's the things ossify. So if you're Jeff Bezos and you hoard all this money to yourself, all that ends up happening is you create a system in the world whereby no one can your system is gonna fail because no one's gonna buy products on Amazon if they don't need to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
But we'll
sometimes.
see.
So
There's
deep.
people that have been calling for that economic reality to be changed, and it's hard. It might be that every once in a while we need to get to a boiling point where there's a fermenting of true revolution, an evolution of everybody camping out in the town square for occupied 2 weeks, but actually do something about a corrupt system that needs to be brought down. But who
Yeah.
am I to foment Marxist socialist revolution on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, yeah. There's going to be no gathering in the squares to protest because we do have to keep what distance from one another. So that just hobbles everything. We are completely hobbled.
And remember, this whole social media thing is great. It's fantastic. We're all interconnected, but we're all interconnected through economic systems and services that can be shut down at a moment's notice. Remember, most of us pay for our internet access. 85% of people on planet Earth don't have access to clean water, let alone internet. It's
Yeah.
easy to forget these things. To understand that if there was a true fomenting of revolution, the powers that be are more than happy to have us gathering up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram because at a moment's notice they just shut it down.
They just pull
And
the
what are you
plug.
going to do? This is why it's important to make sure that we get out of that when these periods of social distancing, fall, go back to normal. Remember what you missed and get back out there and meet people in the real world. Make sure that you should have as many real world connections
Yeah.
as you have internet based connections. In the case that something really bad happens, like a power outage or something, you have people to call on and to help you and help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just before we came on, Maggie and I were talking about getting a ham radio, a CB radio. That's going to be my next major purchase for myself. I'm going to get a license. I'm going to get a CB radio and learn how to do that stuff again because, shit, the switch could be flipped at any moment. It could happen like now, even so.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah, I think we have to get back to, I hate to use this word, not survival mode, but we kind of
Right.
look out for ourselves, and then for each other. Be kind.
Yeah.
We're not enemies. it's trying to be caused. I'm sure suspicion and hatred and, don't touch me. You're going to give me a virus. My neighbor was in a drugstore the other day, and she was standing behind a woman who was in the line ahead of her, and she gave some advice to my neighbor about food. I don't know, but she turned back around, and my neighbor just kind of touched her on the shoulder and said, "Thank you for that." And the woman yelled at her, "Don't touch me." That she was, my neighbor was shocked that people are like that, so, look, watch out for yourselves.
There's going to be a lot more of that, though, because people are scared. People that aren't really awake, they're going to be terrified. It's the elderly. Like me and Darren, we've got 3 in our little cul-de-sac. I said they're the ones I want to keep my eye on.
Yeah, old people. Yes, and old people like me are supposed to stay home. We're supposed to, batten down the hatches and not go out. Well, I have a job that I have to go to, and so far it's not closed. We're not asked to stay home because it's a very small office, and it's a medical office, and we're kind of hanging in there for the people who need us. But I'm sure at a certain point we're going to have to close up. Just because of, the climate of, how people are acting and doing and feeling. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then that goes into the economics of it. There's easy businesses to say are going to definitely be hit. Movie theaters, restaurants.
Yeah.
That's attached to people who work there. If the waiters and the waitresses are told to go home, the bus boys and the dishwashers are told to go home. That's money that's not coming into households that have bills, and those are bills that are not getting paid, rent that might not be paid, and it goes along. But then it gets into other businesses as well. The fact is, if everyone starts self quarantining or quarantining become mandated, it eventually flows out to all corners and touches all places of business.
It's, who knows where this is going, and I have a friend, well, not a friend, I have a YouTube acquaintance, a live journal acquaintance who lives in China. She's an expat, European, but been working in China for years. And she says, okay, the way I see it, okay, things are starting to open back up in China. The little villages, their businesses are slowly returning, and there's a little more freedom. You don't get stopped in as many checkpoints to get your temperature taken and have your mask checked. But she says that she figures the U.S. has about another month of this. Yeah.
Great.
And the UK hasn't even started, really.
Really?
Well, and it's so hard to say it's going to last in America versus China because, number one, the information that comes out of China can sometimes be, suspect because of the nature of their connection between their government and reportage, you know what I mean, or honesty or freedom of this. But you have to realize and understand that the Chinese people and their interactions with the Chinese government are like worlds away from the relationship between the Americans and the American government. Like if you like the notion that you would shut down a city, good luck shutting down an American city. Are you kidding me?
We're just about there, dear.
Well, you can be there, but here's the thing: when they shut down Wuhan, they really shut down Wuhan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that you tell people not to go out and congregate, but even if they try to shut down cities, people Americans have a tendency to do what they want to do and tend to move around all over the place. So I think that you're going to see models of containment may have worked in China or in other nations may not play out the same way in Italy or in America. That's pure speculation from an amateur. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we'll see, won't we? Because so far it's working like a charm. Italy is closed. For Christ's sake, Italy is closed.
I'm supposed to be going to Mallorca in a couple of weeks. The whole of the town shut down. They've shut the whole island down.
Wow, boy, Maggie, you have had the worst luck with trying to go on vacation.
Maybe we're on about it. Sod this, we're going to Scotland instead.
God, yeah,
talk about adding insult to injury.
Yeah, and Maggie was planning on coming to the U.S.
That's November.
In November. You know, maybe by that time it'll all have blown over.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, because, you know, we have a good time planned here.
Pardon?
He said we have a good time planned when you come here.
Oh, God, yeah. It'll be top of the morning every day.
That's funny. Okay, so CW. Okay,
yes.
Did you wind up the general reading? Yeah, I forgot we've been talking.
Yeah, no, that we got our general reading. I think it's to look and understand that the role of responsibility and oversight has on the successful mitigation and maintenance of affairs. So for some places in the world, that's going to be good news and a good portent, and for other places in the world, that makes a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't see things manifested in the external political world, at least you can take this wisdom and advice and try and do your best to maintain or work with this information in your own individual household.
Yeah. Just crazy like me.
Well, so
go crazy.
So CW, how are you feeling? Are you up to maybe taking somebody from the chat for a little reading?
Sure.
Okay, I don't want to wear you out. You know, you need to take good care and stay hydrated and get lots of sleep, you know?
That's why I keep on telling Kelly. She keeps waking me up, telling me to do things. I was like, what? She's like, Boulder. I'm like, get the fuck out of town, bitch.
I love seeing a happy, loving relationship. You know, you guys are an inspiration.
Yeah.
We'll do our best to, you know what I mean, tune into someplace else.
I know who wears the trousers, and it's not you, CW.
Hey, the guy who cooks gets to rule the roost. Hello, Kelly.
Yep.
There you go.
Would there be anybody?
I was doing the cooking, but then the CDC put my cookware on quarantine. It was declared a public health hazard.
This is how CW became a bitch.
Boy, what a socially responsible dude CW is. So is there anybody in the chat? Would anybody like to have a reading by CW, our Irish tarot reader today? There's Lord Jesus Christ. Holy cow.
Hey, Lord Jesus Christ. Glad he got out of the institution.
Glad
and still come.
And Sarah the Mage is in chat. Jasmine Emmerich. Boy, look, we've got friends here. Got 16 watching. Dang.
That's cancelled St Patrick's Day.
This is what the godfather of douchebag YouTube brings to the table.
Oh boy, what an honor. Jeez. I'm fanning myself. Okay, so
you better.
No no takers. Okay, Lord Jesus is self-quarantining their holiness. And,
sorry.
It looks like Jericho D wants a reading.
Jericho D.
I don't know if you saw that, Robin.
No, what?
Does Jericho D question or an area of interest?
Somebody named Jericho D, this is my first time meeting them, said that they wanted a reading.
Okay, Jericho D. Is there a specific question?
Me too.
That too.
So if any of those guys who have requested a reading have any sort of specific question or concern or area that they want to look at, that will give us some guidance into how to proceed with the affairs.
Oh, even Saroth the Mage. Oh my gosh, the Grand Wizard of the YouTubes, the Saroth, wants a reading. Oh gosh. Okay, we have to limit this because CW isn't feeling too perky.
Well, no. Listen, first Sarah will get a reading. You know what I mean? Then Jerk will get these guys. Seeing the people in the live chat, who's in the live chat. There's not rotten apple in the bunch.
I
That's a
know.
sad state of affairs. But anyone who wants to read, if all 15 of your illustrious viewers want a reading, they'll get it.
Oh,
How lovely. Okay, you pick who's first. Seamus.
Whoever tells them what they're actually interested in thinking about or looking at.
Okay, somebody
I
come.
got Kelly working the. I don't have the live chat up on my thing because I'm tuned into you guys. We've got Kelly who's working the.
She's
live.
she's working the Phoebe.
She's working the live chat. She's typing away.
thanks, Kelly. You're a darling.
Yeah. Okay. So, who's okay? Do Sarah. Jericho D says to do Sarah.
Sarah still needs to put a question though.
Okay.
Jericho D can get a reading if he cares what he or she is interested in knowing about. I could do it. You could always go general reading. That's always popular. The sampler.
Oh, and Lord Jesus Christ, boy, what a downer you are, dude.
What did he say?
He doesn't need a tarot reading because he knows the future and it isn't pretty. You know.
Okay, so we'll do a 3-card reading for Lord Jesus Christ. Big fan. There you go. There you go. You want the tall poppy to get cut? Not a problem, Lord Jesus Christ. Your cheesiness. May all your days be good. Solution be may your book of Revelations be Swiss. We got 3 cards spread there for Lord Jesus Christ to see the future. But you didn't see this one come. The high priest, the devil. Oh shit! And 6 of Wands. So this is very interesting. Well, look, it goes to show you I shouldn't fuck around. Here we go. This is doing great. He probably did see this coming based on this rating. The high priestess. You know what I mean? What more do we need to say? This is someone that's working and knows what she knows, not from reading the books, the tomes, and the grimoires, but simply knowing intuitively the lay of the land. Inherited wisdom and wisdom that was taught, orally and passed down in TLC and love. She knows what she's doing. She's operating. You might not know exactly why she's doing, but the important thing is that she does. The spoonful of medicine may taste terrible, but it's what your system needs. Followed by the devil. The devil! Well, if you're going to have Lord Jesus Christ, we're going to have a little balance in the works, too. If we're going to have the high priestess, we need to have something a little bit scary to add some frisson into life, something a little scary, a little heavy metal to shock the system, keep us on our toes, and also keep us aware of the fact that the temptation can come from without, but the temptation really comes from within. Okay, having this in the middle indicate me that make sure to keep your inner demons in balance. A little fun is a little fun, but don't let it get far out of hand, or you're gonna pay the piper, and you're gonna have villagers chasing you and your followers up into the high tower with pitchforks and torches. Followed last card, 6 of Wands. We got this great city going on. The 6 of Wands, creativity, enforce victory, and triumph. What a fantastic set of cards for a fantastic deity in the form of Lord Jesus Christ. I guess we've got confirmation. I guess we've got a hit on the true sanctified nature of Lord Jesus Christ.
He says he loves the devil, works with him in the production.
And there you go.
So Sarah did provide his question. I'm sorry, Robin. I'm not trying to take over. I'm just reading the live chat.
Oh, you better take
No, you guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah, Sarah has a question. I see.
Yeah. Will I ever get control of my addiction problems?
Will you ever get control of your addiction problems? There's sometimes when someone asks a question that before you even go to the cards, you can answer. Hey, brother, will you ever get control of your addiction problem? It's not for me to say yes, it's not for me to say no, but it is for me to tell you that it's possible to do so. Um, once upon a time, I'll tell you a true story. Once upon a time, that happened 1,000 times, 10,000, 15,000 times, 24,000 times. I would sit there and I would be putting the bong down, exhaling from my lips. I'd be putting the drink down from my lips, and I'd say to myself, "This recovery thing, I'll never get. It's not for me. I'll always be drinking and drugging. I'll never be able to stop." And I'm over a year and 2 or 3 months, sober.
When
Is that
you
a
go,
miracle number? Is that a forever number? No, but for now, know that we've refuted for over 365 days plus that notion that
Over
once to
400.
over 400 days plus, what was in my mind an estimation, um, an impossibility. There are things that we think that we know as bedrock reality that are not bedrock reality. They are just our perceptions. Having gotten that PSA out of the way, let's look at the cards and let's honestly take a gander, warts and all, over we could think about as far as Sarah the Mage ever control of his addictions. And
Sarah,
I'll be honest with you, Sarah. You know what I mean? You're an intelligent guy and you know what you know. So I'm not going to bullshit you. What's the point of bullshitting you and give you a whole bunch of platitudes and nice things? Let's call the cards as we see them. 4 cards. We'll do the exact same thing that we did for the general reading for St. Patrick's Day. We'll pull up the cards one card at a time, and we'll see how the information flows out in chronological order.
And before you read that first card, CW, I want to tell Sarah. I have a message for Sarah too. Sarah, you're doing it. Every time I see one of your shows, one of your videos, I see you actively overcoming. And so far, I'm really liking what I see in you, Sarah. Yeah, there's a demon, but I think you're up to it. Okay, that's my personal opinion.
Right, and the other thing to know this is that the old GI Joe cartoon used to have a point in it where they would say, "And knowing is half the battle." To ask the question, "Will I ever confront or control my addictions?" is to put a truth out there that your desire is to control your addictions. It's to know and understand that you have an addiction worth addressing. Until you acquiesce that there's a problem, there's no hope that you're gonna ever do anything. Okay, and so there you go. So that's just that. So we'll turn over to the first card. The devil.
may I just say one thing?
Wait,
Sorry.
CW, what? Maggie, what?
My husband is a recovering alcoholic. He's been sober 15 years. He watched one of the chills when Sarah was on talking about how he overcome heroin. He loves Sarah. He is so proud of what he's done before. If you can do it once, you can do it again. My husband's fell off the wagon a couple of times, but
Again,
that's
blame
it now.
it to you.
You'll do it.
Sorry. I'm in the club, so I can say it. It's like a black person can tell a black joke.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mac. Now I feel like a douche.
No, you're right.
You're all right.
No,
Okay.
you're right.
No,
I just want
and the
to.
point is this. The point is to accumulate a number of alternative days in an alternative space other than inebriation and intoxication. And no matter how many times you relapse, you got to strike a balance between the notion that it's a revolving door and you relapse as many times as you want to, because you never know which relapse is going to be your last one,
Yeah.
but also know that no matter how many times you fucked up, This day is a new day. This hour is a new hour. You can stop now and see how long you can for. Hold your breath. And
Bless you.
Bless you.
I've got Corona. Here we go. The first card I pulled was the Devil card, and how appropriate if we're talking about this is the cards tell us that they know where we're coming from. They know what's going on in Magic and Go. Okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about temptations, controls, primeval instincts out of that seemingly out of our control. Some subconscious drives and desires that got us by the short and curlies, and being led by something that we've identified as dark, but something which is also incredibly attractive. Okay, this is the heavy metal card, and heavy metal card indicates that this is something that is going to drive you roughshod and crazy, but it's going to do so in a way that's going to also be, it's going to feel super cool, right? Some of your best friends were affiliated with Satan. It's going to be tough, but this is also the card telling us that you go into the doctor with a heart problem and they refer you to a cardiologist. Okay, the cards are telling us that they know exactly where we're coming from, that they're in the right area. Okay, and we're doing the good stuff here, and we're on a good vein of ore to explore. I turn over the second card with the Eight of Wands. Perpetual. This is eight to me is the number of the eights are always a thing. It's always the suit. Um, Not at its most pure nature, but the eternal element of the conflict involved in a suit. Wands is creativity, it's action, it's desire, it's raw desire manifest, and this is too many things going on. It's thrilling, there's too much to get a hold of sometimes. So we need to know and understand that the fire needs to be tempered, and we need to pick and narrow down, some issues and simplify in a very simple, because raw creativity in and of itself, you can follow that muse and it can take you higher and higher. But the bonfire, if it's not tended properly, is going to burn out of control and will threaten to burn down, let alone the whole village. It might burn down the whole community, the whole town. So there's a real call here to simplify on the creative front. Okay, understand that the one iron in the fire, the two irons in the fire, the three may be enough in and of itself to keep you occupied and to give you a basis upon which to act. And also taking control of some simple things in our lives. If we're talking about big things like addictions, learning, it's like a nerve. It's like practice makes perfect. It's like riding a bike. It's like balance. Let's gather up some wins. If we're having trouble beating some big addictions, can we do simple things like getting to bed on time? Saying to ourselves, setting a rule for ourselves like, I'm going to be in bed by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I'm going to set the alarm for 6 a.m. I'm going to keep to the schedule. I'm going to regulate myself in this way. Or I'm going to cut the sugar out. Or I'm going to reduce my caffeine consumption by 50%. Is there some way in some area of our lives, some bigger battle that we can win, just to give ourselves some wins, to give ourselves some confidence, and to give ourselves some teachable moments, some touchstones to say, hold on, I do have sovereignty, I do have self-control, I'm not in control, worthless son of a bitch. I can do some things productively. I can regulate some areas and aspects of my life, and I've got that going for me.
Wow, CW, that was most excellent, that card. And your interpretation,
Right.
you're a natural kid.
I got it all off Bazooka Joe comics. The ten swords. So coming right out of Wands, it's very interesting to see that Wands is like that burning creative primeval force. Wands is the manifestation of that force for me in the form of our own ego-driven philosophies, conceptions, and ideas. This is the man's mind, an idea, the man or the woman's mind and its products as a manifestation of the primeval creative force at the center of the universe. And the Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, if Eight of Wands is overwhelming, Ten of Swords is just in the reality of life. When it comes down to it, if you've got everything going on in your head, you're going to have a tough time dealing with the reality of life around you. Sometimes it's necessary to quell the inner monkey mind and the inner craziness if you're going to hope to conquer anything really in your life. So I would say this is that be wary of your ideas, conceptions, and thoughts, whether it's these self-help or recovery meetings are just not for me, or this sucks, or I don't know how this system that everyone's recommending really actually works. Don't think about it. Thinking is the enemy sometimes. Okay? Just do it. Take some advice. Um, Delegate some decision making in your world, not from yourself to other experts and people around you. Okay? If the recovery system says go here, go there, go to this, go to a qualified mental health professional, get sugar out of your diet, whatever it is, talk to God, talk to Goddess, talk to the angels, whatever. Don't worry about running your script about whether that's good advice or bad advice. Just take the advice and do it. And try something new. Try some changing some thoughts on the inside to change the world around you on the outside. And last is this. We've got the Ace of Wands. Check this out. Now, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
So the Ace of Wands, remember the Eight of Wands, we had the overburdening thoughts in the Ten of Swords, and then we have the Ace of Wands. If we figure this out, if the devil is the problem, the solution is in you, in the act of creation, in the act of the eternal manifestation of our true will and our true desire, which may not, the Ten of Swords reminds us, may not come through a cerebral understanding of what we think, thought, or think it should be, but just learning how to act primally and naturally may be the solution. And this to culminate in the Ace of Wands indicates to us if the question is whether or not Sareth the Mage will overcome or take control of his addiction. Yeah, he will if he does so. And the dirty little secret is we often want to say that there's something else that's going on. There's something that's making it this way or that way. I'm just this way. It's how I was programmed. It's because of this happened in my life, that happened because of my trauma. It's because I'm a lazy sod. It's because I'm worthless. It's because I've got no stick-to-itiveness. It's because I'm garbage. I'm a narcissistic egomaniac, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? At the end of the day, we tell our story and we have some control. The fact of the matter is this: if you don't pick up the plunger and you don't pick up the drink and you don't pick up the pipe and you don't pick up the whatever, the pill, you're not going to get fucked up that day.
Wow.
You can do it. You've done it before, Sarah.
He's doing it now. He's doing it right this minute. It's a moment by moment thing. And Sarah, I salute you.
I salute you as well, because admission is the first step, I think.
And sharing it and exposing your
vulnerabilities, because everybody's got
your humanness, and we're all in this together, and of course you have people who support you and love you, so you just keep being you, Sarah.
You're a brave man.
I like knowing you. Really, God, CW, that was so excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, that was excellent.
Do you feel up to one
Well,
more, or are you folding up?
oh, yeah, absolutely, I can do one more. But here's the thing: is that to the degree that it's excellent, is to the degree that I'm out of the way and I'm being of service and I'm doing something for, not for my ego or not to be excellent, but to, um,
Give a
to
spark of
place
hope to
or
someone.
to, do it from a non-ego point of view. Because look, I mean, at the end of the day, is that if I'm locked in, if any of us are locked in ego, we're not going to be able to read the card successfully, because all I'm going to be doing is trying to concentrate on saying something good or nice or fantastic or politically correct or whatever, and that's not going to work for anybody.
No, it don't.
Yeah. Well, I'm always really impressed with your readings. The CW, like I said, you're kind of a natural because you do let the cards do it. And it's clear that you don't stand in their way. But then there's the CW flavor with your interpretation. The interpretation means just as much as the cards do. And the deliverer of the message, you're a good messenger, CW.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm pleased to have you here today. Um, is okay. The show is yours, CW. What do you want to do next?
I think Kelly's looking at the live chat to see if it.
Well, I mean, the only one other person asked for a reading, but then he gave it up to Seth, so I'm not sure.
He gave
Okay,
it up
well,
to Sarah, but
well,
But he could still get his reading. He just has
I'll
to
give him a.
question.
I'll give who? What's his name?
It was
I can't remember either.
No,
Hold on, I'm going back to see if I can find it.
Yeah, scroll up, scroll up.
was it Jericho?
No,
Someone.
like
Jericho.
D.
Jericho.
Jericho
Someone.
did. The halls of Jericho.
Thank you, out of mine. She also brought.
So there you go. So Jericho D. So Jericho, the halls of Jericho. Okay, bringing towers, bringing walls down. So I'll say this. Here's we'll do a general read for Jericho D on how to bring down the walls. Okay, so we're gonna do a reading about how to bring down walls. As good as any. It's also biblical. It's also blasphemous. I hope we get the devil card again.
Oh. Boy, this show's getting sketchy now.
I'm gonna do 3 cards. What we're gonna do is this: is we're gonna do 1 card for the protagonist of our story. We'll do 1 card for what's inside the city gates, and we're gonna do one card for how to break down the barrier between the two. Does that sound good? Of course it does.
Of course it does.
First card is we have for our protagonist is we've got the Temps. This is perfection in the home. This is balance and abundance and joy in the family unit. This is the from coming out of the cave to coming out of the man age. This is the eternal story of the human family at its best. Looking ahead to sunshine, looking ahead at clouds departing, looking ahead at the bounty and perfection on a Christmas day. So we start from a good benevolent place, a good perfect place of balance. We've got it all. What are we trying to get to inside the city walls? We have so much. And here we have the 2 of discs, the eternal balancing act, okay, in material of affairs and events, when to spend, when to save, a time to reap, a time to sow. We need to find, even in the space of plenty, on the emotional level, this perfection. On the material level, we still seek our balance. How do we get there? How do we get there to balance and successful dealing with the topsy turvy nature of life? The changes can happen. If it's perfect now, we know that there can be times of strife, times of change. So, how do we make sure that we're prepared there? How do we break down the walls between us and our ability to deal with things as they come on the material plane? And we have the 9 of Swords. Oh man, this is depressing. But what that shows and indicates is we need to get over our troubles and anxieties and our projections that are born from within. What's preventing us from dealing with the balance is probably the anxiety that we don't have what it takes to deal with balance. What is hindering us from understanding that we have everything we already need already? It's our anxiety that there might be some missing piece, or our creation on the internal realm of a issue or problem to be dealt with that is probably not there if we just open our eyes to the reality of the situation.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Jericho D has been sober for 15 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, celebrate.
And you know what's so crazy? Here's where it really gets beautiful and nice. On the St. Patrick's Day, this is why Robin Eagle's song is Bizarro Wonderland, and Maggie as well. On the St. Patrick's Day show, we have a celebration of sobriety, addiction.
Yeah.
Ah,
Not
yeah.
to call it conspiracy.
Oh, I want to tell you something. By the way,
What did Kelly say?
I said I have something to tell CW on camera because I have you to back me up and then get Maggie to agree. Me and Robin have come to the conclusion that this shape and length of your beard is ideal.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's not about the ideal. It's about
It's a comfy thing. It's a comfy thing.
No, here's where it goes. Here's how it works. It's very easy to understand.
Here comes the word salad.
Australia. I have two modes. I go in once a year and get shorn down with the number 2 attachment on the buzzer. Beard, balls, and head. Right, that's it. And then
Wait, beard. What did you just say? What was that?
What?
What did you just say?
Words. What I just said, I'm going to talk over you and pretend I didn't ask you your question.
Did you just mention the Holy Trinity, beers, balls, and head? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't mention that. I think that was you.
Oh, well, I knew one of us said it. But I'm going to ban myself.
Someone's got to.
She's going to time lapse that one, I'll tell you.
Beers, balls, and
Like this, and I'll keep it like around here.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Jesus Christ also agrees. The Lord has spoken.
God bless him. If he wants to cast a magical spell that will keep the beard at this length, then I will comply.
And Kelly, you could always get a little cheap pair of hair cutting scissors and sit him down in the bathroom and keep that beard shaped like that. He looks very well groomed. The sartorial thing means everything, CW, I got to tell you.
You think I could actually get him to sit in one place for that long?
Oh, my God.
I don't like the direction this is going. We're done. You said your show's an hour. We're at an hour and 8 minutes. There we go.
Oh, well, I'm having fun at my own party. I know that's wrong for a hostess to have fun at her own party, but hey, carry on, dude. Are you done with Jericho?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what we had.
Oh, you shot your wad right there. Okay.
Thank you for making my single St. Patrick's Day a great one. Thank you very much, C-Dubs.
Well, it's not like I'm picking them off. I'm not booting you out, CW. You stay as long as you want. You want to do anything else? Like I said, turning it over to you, dude.
Well, like play Connect 4? Like what
Oh, I like
I got, if I'm being completely honest, not to be a douchebag deluxe, I am not feeling 100% fantastic. Yeah. So if we wrap it up now, if it's an hour and then we do that, then I'll gladly come on another time to appear again. You know what I mean? But for now, maybe it's time to me to hit Time for me to hit the old dusty trail.
The Dusty Trail, you and Trigger. I know I used to watch those old cowboy movies. Well, CW, you know what? You're a prince. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Uh,
Much love to you both.
and also, you know, this is the first time I've ever had an offer for somebody to come on again. Okay, we're solid. You know,
And I really regret it.
Whoa. I offered to come back, Robin.
did you? Oh, that's right. That's right. You did. Okay, so gee, maybe we could have a tandem guest spot for. No, I want Kelly by
That's
herself.
it. That's it. Next time you get both of us.
That's too funny. Okay, CW, if you're gonna duck out, give us a final thought, and then I'll kick you off the stream so Maggie and I can.
My only final thought is thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to read the tarot cards. It's been a while since I've done that on my channel, so it's actually been glorious to stretch that muscle and to do that work and to try and be of service in some small way. And also the company was good. You know, Robin and Maggie, I know you guys from either my channel or Michael's channel or Davey's channel. So to see, and it's so interesting because I would have seen you guys over there on the Sunday chill. To see you guys now in your own environment where you're in self-control, it's amazing. I thought this was going to be a riot, but there you go. So thank you so much for having me. I love you, and we'll do it again sometime again real soon.
Looking forward to it, CW. Thank you so much. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and we'll see you soon. Bye, Kelly.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye for now. Love you. Take care, guys. Take care.
Bye.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I'm so thankful for all the chat coming in as well. It's been a really good day.
I know it's been a really, really good show. CW, bless your heart. And you know what? It's really funny, you know, Maggie, when we do these shows, I never know in advance exactly what's going to go on because, you know, I have no plans. And CW only just let me know last night that he was coming on. So, you know, we would have done a time step, a tap dance on our own. But I'm so glad.
Yeah. Bless him. He's not well as well.
I know. And I hope he gets lots of sleep and I hope he takes good care. Well, Kelly's there to look out for him. So
she'll look after him. The good old fashioned way.
With human contact, you know what we're, you know, we're discouraged from human contact these days. But I'm so glad we have this platform. You know, as the world is going crazy, we've got a little corner of the YouTube where, you know, we can put
our own fun and just raise your vibrations.
Yeah, and have a laugh and, you know, leave the cares outside. Even though we talked about it. Maggie, do you want to do, I know we've been on for, an hour and almost 15 minutes. Do you feel like doing a quick dowsing?
I can, yeah. Well, if someone wants to ask the rods a question.
Okay.
Rods here.
Maggie's a dowser. So, well, she has dowsing rods. So if is there anybody in the chat, before we end the show, is there anybody in the chat who might have one question for Maggie and the rods? Do we still have people watching? Let me see. Oh, we have 15 people watching. Okay, so anybody, just quickly before we close, if nobody steps up, then we'll do it the next show. But if anybody wants one question answered.
Do you want a question answered, Robin?
Do I want a question answered? Okay, how about something really, really selfish? And okay, on Wednesday, am I going to get eggs?
Sorry. Maybe. Oh, yes, maybe. Maybe. I'm shaking, so these are going over.
Okay, so
that's a yes. If they go that way, it's a no.
Okay, So I'm going to get eggs on Wednesday. Oh, good, because I really wanted to, I'm trying to stock up my freezer just because, after my health issues, I finally feel like cooking again. So I've been cooking my brains out on weekends. So I've got like stuff in my freezer for future meals. And I so wanted to make chicken noodle soup. And I make my own noodles, but I can't do it without eggs. And I've been out of eggs for like a couple of weeks. So I'm waiting for eggs on Wednesday so I can make noodles. So yay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Veronica May. She wants to go to Macy's to take advantage of their sale. Should she go?
No.
Whoa, Veronica. Wow. That was the biggest no.
No.
Yeah, that's the biggest no I've ever seen.
Mm.
Dang. Oh, out of mind. That's an interesting question. That's a really, is the COVID-19 a bioweapon?
Yes.
I think it's more of a political weapon.
I think they're covering up, wanting to get everybody indoors, and we're going to see.
Yeah, way to show us how to do it.
The arrests and the paedophile rings are going to be exposed for what they are.
Yeah, and China has it down, man. They shut down that entire huge continent, millions.
Bodies, don't they, for the livers, kidneys? They even do it to live people.
Oh, geez.
Harvest people for their organs.
Oh, dear Lordy. Boy, that's a dark place I've never gone to. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Well, my husband goes in all them dark holes.
Oh, yay for it. Well, somebody's got to do it. I'm glad it's him. And then he can, pass us messages from the dark side.
Yeah.
But yes, Veronica, shop online. I think that's the most sensible thing. And then, come join us too. There's lots of stuff to do at home.
Going as long as there's internet.
As long as
we'll go crazy.
But Maggie, you know what this reminds me of? And I was born like the year after World War II ended. But I remember stories my parents told and my aunts and uncles about food rationing coupons during World War II, and how they had stories about, the dog eating their meat coupons or this is sort of like that kind of a restriction.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if there's going to be rationing. I know that's way, way out there, but I'm remembering my childhood.
If you think about it, all the bad weather we've been having in all of these countries that grow specific foods, that we have it all transported in and around the world. There's no shipments.
I know.
Darren's asked 2 shops now where he's been, and they both said they've got no more shipments coming in.
What's up with that? They're closing trade routes, and wow, this is huge. This is way more huge than I ever imagined when it first started. I started reading about it in China, and then it crept up to the Koreas and Japan, and then now it's here. It's like a stone rolling downhill. It's just going faster and faster. And I am really starting to have concern for people my age, and they're telling us all to stay home.
There's 3 elderly on their own people in the walk, and they usually come to me and Darren anyway, but they're the people we'll be keeping the eye on, plus my grandkids, of course.
Oh, good for you. I have a couple of grown children who are looking out for me, and I'm really lucky in that regard. And your friends, you look out for your friends, because almost all my real life friends are old.
This is what you're going to see, because people are going to need to be close to each other. People are going to be aware of other people more, whether to see if they're sneezing, snotting, or whatever they're doing. You will be aware of the other people around you, whereas people weren't aware. If you get what my meaning is.
That's an interesting thought, Maggie, because for so many years we've all been occupied with our heads down.
We just go blinkered, shopping, anywhere, blinkered.
Yeah. We've all been on phones. You walk down the street, you're not even looking where you're going. Okay, so that's elevating our vision, our eyes, and where we're looking, and we are looking at other people now. Isn't Maggie? That's interesting. Because
the way they work.
Well, paying attention to your fellows, even though this is a negative way to pay attention to your fellows, maybe it's a start.
Yeah, it is. Even if you could just make one person laugh. That's why I love doing this. It's the only reason I love doing this. Put a smile on someone's face, even if it's just once.
And a smile on your own face.
Yeah, in the process. Yeah.
And Jericho D says to Jasmine, we're going to need our online friends a bit more. Yeah, because and thank goodness for that. And please, powers that be, let us continue to have internet, because
I think have to. That's one thing they won't be able to take away. It might change a bit, but I don't think they'll be able to, take that away, because how can they bloody blindfold you with rubbish if they take the internet away?
Yeah. Oh, Killendall is here.
Killendall.
Hey, dude.
I haven't seen him for ages.
He just like a little ghost. He pops every once in a while in different places. It's good to see you, dear. So K-Ride says, keep the smiles coming. Well, we're going to try, K-Ride. We have our Sundays, and, so I look forward to this every Sunday, even though I make no plans. I always look forward to it.
And we don't.
And so I'm looking forward to next Sunday. Who knows who might want to come on, or what we might do. Your dowsing rods are fascinating, Maggie. I want to do that again a couple times. Just maybe
we will.
Maybe a little segment of the show could be Maggie's woo-woo 10 minutes or something. We'll reserve that. Well, my gosh, we've almost gone an hour and a half. That's some kind of a record. I think with Michael, we went almost an hour and a half too. But so we've had some stellar guests, and I am so grateful.
Every minute, every week. I really do.
I know.
And what my head's going to come up with during that week.
I love that. Maggie, you're the best co-host ever. I just have such gratitude for the way this is going, the wonderful people that we get in the chat, the guests. It's mind-blowing that people show up. And
well, who wouldn't want to see a mad Irish woman and a flower pot talking?
And a flower pot. And a Jewish Puerto Rican posing as a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm not short. I'm not a leprechaun, I'm just short.
You're just short. Yeah, you're just a little thing. Yeah. Okay.
Them tiny things.
That's so great. So next Sunday, the 22nd, we'll see how it goes. We'll talk behind the scenes, Maggie, and see what to come up with. I'm having a blast.
So am I. Thank you.
Oh, and Thank you. And, you guys in the chat again. Okay, I'm going to get all sappy here. So I'm ending this. So Maggie, dear, thank you. It was I'm going to watch this again. I rarely watch our shows over again because sometimes I get embarrassed. But I'm going to watch this again. What a good show. What a good show.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Everybody in the chat, be well, be happy, be safe, stay hydrated, get lots of rest, and be kind to your fellows.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.